The Valley Animal Shelter forced to close after more than a dozen dogs were exposed to a respiratory illness.
Access Drew Andre joining us live from outside the foundation with what we know right now.
Well, and Jacqueline, the Animal Foundation said they've put a pause on all adoptions, fosters, and transfers, as right now they're moving dogs around that may have possibly been exposed to a respiratory illness. Now, just a little bit earlier this evening, the Animal Foundation put a statement out on social media that said 16 dogs are symptomatic. No animals were euthanized because of this, and all affected dogs have been started on a series of antibiotics. Now, there is an inherent risk in sheltering stray animals because, as an organization, we often know very little about them. Now, early last week, several employees suddenly resigned and walked off their jobs, alleging poor working conditions at the Animal Foundation. The very next day, the shelter said its capacity was at a critical point, taking in over 2,000 animals in September alone. They put out an urgent call for adoptions, and last Thursday, the Animal Foundation reported having 673 animals on their campus, saying 370 animals still need to be placed. Now, just a few minutes ago here, we saw an animal control officer that went back through that back gate. Now, as far as the dogs with respiratory illness, the Animal Foundation did not say specifically what that type of illness was, nor did they specify what the symptoms are for those dogs. We did reach out to a representative for the Animal Foundation who just referred us back to their social media statement. Jacqueline?